The Gardener. Chapter 1. The First Breath. There was no light, no sound, no time. Only stillness, vast and thick, like the silence that lingers before a breath is drawn. There was no memory, for there was nothing to remember. No shape, no name, no breath. A stirring, soft, weightless. Something moved. Dust began to lift. It curled in the air as if caught in a slow exhale, dancing upward from the surface of unseen soil. The silence broke, not with noise, but with presence, something vast and near, descending low. Hands touched the earth. Fingers, deliberate and strong, pressed into the dust. They gathered, shaped, sculpted. The ground yielded under the touch, forming ridges and contours. A brow, a nose, closed eyelids, the curve of a mouth, shoulders, hands, legs folded beneath a chest. From clay, a body. The one who shaped it leaned close. There was no sound, but there was movement, gentle, full. A breath passed from mouth to mouth. Air rushed in. The chest swelled, then convulsed. Fingers twitched, lids fluttered. A sound, sharp and wet, escaped the lips. Another breath. Then another. The man inhaled. His eyes opened. Brightness struck him. Not heat, but intensity. Light filtered through branches above, through leaves unfamiliar and shifting. The sky arched high overhead, pale blue and endless. The shapes around him bent and shimmered. A tree moved in slow rhythm. Water glistened nearby. His chest heaved again. He blinked. The ground beneath him felt warm and soft, layered with moss and loam. The air was thick with scent, sweet, green, damp. There was birdsong, the rustle of leaves. Something brushed his foot, a blade of grass, tender and cool. The man sat up slowly. His muscles answered him, already strong, though untested. His fingers touched his chest, his face. He looked down at his hands, opened and closed them. The weight of his own body surprised him. Breath moved in and out of him, rhythmic and steady. He turned. A figure stood nearby, not far, not hidden. He could not see its face, but the form was clear, upright, unmoving. Radiance poured from it like sunlight through clean water. There was no fear in the man, only stillness. He did not know what to call what stood before him, but he knew it had been near when he awoke, knew it had touched the earth and made him. The figure stepped forward and knelt beside him. A hand, firm and warm, was placed over the man's chest. The other hand sank into the soil beside them, fingers pressed into the same dust that shaped the man's frame. The message was not spoken, yet it was understood. He belonged to both. The man looked at the ground, then back to the figure and drew in another breath. The wind passed gently over the trees. A shadow rippled across the water. Somewhere a bird cried out, and the leaves answered. The man remained still. He did not speak. He did not rise. He only breathed. The world around him was wide, and it was waiting. The man blinked again. His eyes adjusted slowly, drawing in light and shape and distance. He sat still for a long time, breathing, watching dust drift through beams of light above. The figure beside him did not move, only waited, hand still pressed over the man's chest. The man's head tilted. He pointed. A bird leapt from a branch and vanished into the canopy. He opened his mouth. No sound came. He touched his throat, then pressed fingers against his lips. His brows drew together. Something inside him pushed upward like pressure behind a dam, but it had no form. He inhaled sharply and tried again. A low grunt escaped, rough and aimless. The figure tilted its head slightly. Encouragement was in the silence. The man gestured again. He placed both hands over his chest, tapped twice, then pointed to himself. A half-formed sound rumbled out, guttural and soft. He looked at the figure. He pointed again, this time toward the other. The figure's radiance shifted, almost as if smiling. The man tried again. A new sound formed, stretching upward from his belly into his throat. Ah! He coughed. It was too loud. His hand returned to his chest. Then the voice came, not from the figure's mouth, but from everywhere. It rolled like music into his mind, clear and strong. Let him speak. Warmth passed through the man's jaw, his chest, his lungs. His mouth tingled. He breathed in through parted lips and tried again. This time, the sounds came easier. Ah, duh. He looked surprised. The figure stepped back as if to give space, but never moved far. The man repeated it. He smiled. Adam. He pounded his chest once. Adam. Then again with delight. Adam, 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 Adam. He laughed at the noise, slurring it together until it tumbled out in a strange rhythm. Immadimividum.